Hello everyone, it's your buddy Sven here, once again coming at you with another Warframe video. Now, today I wanted to rehash an old video I did. So for the first time in this channel's history, I'm actually going to be redoing a video. The times have changed a whole lot, and this was one of my more talked about videos, and in my opinion, it was the crappiest video I've done. I didn't put a lot of research into it, admittedly, but it was the discussion on the best primary weapon in Warframe and some of the best primary weapons to go with it. I did not do a lot of good research going in. It was mostly my own experience as a rank 9 player at the time. I've had the opportunity to test out far more weapons. As you can see here, my Tonkor is unranked, but it's my vote for the strongest weapon. And a lot of people mentioned it, whether that was politely or some people told me, what the are you talking about? I'm going to censor myself there. Just what the hell are you talking about? You're a complete idiot for not thinking this thing is good. This thing does so much absurd damage. You're not qualified to talk about this. Stuff like that. But, anywho, that's a rant for another day. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and talk about probably the top 5 weapons that I've played around with, that I played around with the style of, and that, just statistically speaking, are the strongest primaries in the game as of Update 17. Now, we're going to go ahead and hide the Tonkor for a little bit, because that'll come into play later. To round out the list at number 5, I'm going to put the Soma Prime here. The Soma Prime is not a bad weapon, of course. The Soma Prime, look at this. This is what mine does. This is per bullet damage down on the right there. It's an absurdly strong weapon. Really high single target. It's a crit machine. Not the most ammo-efficient weapon in the world, but this thing is an absolute crit machine. I have almost a 90% crit chance on it. It's a ridiculous weapon all in all. Now, to move on from the Soma Prime, I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Dread at number 4. This thing is pretty ridiculous. You can see it here. My crit chance of this thing is 150%. Little bit of overkill, but you can see it right there. The blast is ridiculous. The slash is ridiculous. Really absurdly high crit single target damage. Being a bow, it has really good ammo efficiency in my opinion. It's just disgusting, and if you have a party full of corrosive projection, the fact that it does slash, you're going to be doing some absurd damage. The metric that I've been using so far to grade these weapons is how long I can go in a tower for survival, and to have these weapons do relevant damage at maximum capacity from what I've seen. So, number 4 would be the Dread. Number 3 is going to be another bow, and it is the Rakta. Luckily, I have most of these weapons in my possession. My number 2 will not be in my possession, but my number 1 is. The Rakta, in my mind, it edges out the Dread for one big reason. It's not as much damage as we can see here. The impact is not loved. The crit chance is lower, as you can see, it's 104 compared to the 149 or whatever I had on the Dread. But the Blight proc is too good. 1,000 viral damage, guaranteed viral proc, energy restore, and movement speed bonus when it procs Blight. So the Syndicate proc that is just hardwired into the weapon, you don't need a mod on it. It's just too good to pass up in my mind. That's why Rakta edges it out on the number 3 spot for this list. Number 2, I don't have the actual weapon, but it's the Prime version of this, the Boltor. So ignore the metrics on the right here. The Boltor Prime, it's just a good weapon. It's just an absurdly good weapon. It has a very high DPS rating. It can ragdoll people, which causes some damage if they hit the ragdoll. Has really solid ammo efficiency. If you can adjust for the drop-off that in the arc that the Boltor has, because it fires bolts, needless to say, it's a really good weapon. It lasts a long time. You can go long into Tower 4 survivals and raids with it. Really good. But to cap it off, the number 1 primary weapon in the game right now for Warframe has to be the Tonkor. Now, the reason I say that the Tonkor is the best weapon in the game is because it has absurd AoE and single target damage. It's utterly insane, and it crits really, really well. It has a 35% crit chance just to start. this thing just obliterates everything. It's ammo efficient, it blows up rooms of enemies, and it has very little targeted damage to yourself. The reason that the Tonkor beats the Penta in my mind, and even the one that I have, the Sekura Penta, or Sakura Penta, is because it mitigates the damage to yourself really well, and you could jump with it. Update 17 brought in the new movement system, Movement 2.0, Parkour 2.0. So we already have really good movement, but the Tonkor allows you to even go off of that more absurdly good weapon. So to those of you who watched my last video and kind of thought, why wasn't the Tonkor on this list? Yes, the Tonkor is on this list now at the #1 spot, and that's going to wrap up the discussion. If you have any other comments to make, please leave them in the comment section below. Hopefully I've done a better job of analyzing the weapons this time through. Hopefully I brought more experience as a player, and hopefully I have a more agreeable list. If you disagree with the list, please, I'm not going to say politically correct or any of that, but, you know, don't fill your comment with profanity, please. Just, you know, voice it reasonably. Be a reasonable person about voicing your complaints. And I'll talk it through with you, but yes, to recap the list, it's number 5 is the Sona Prime, number 4 is the Dread, number 3 is the Rakta Ceranos, number 2 is the Boltor Prime, and number 1 is the Tonkor. So, if you like what you heard in this video, please leave a like down below, and if you want to see Warframe videos every Wednesday and Friday, I'm going to be covering the best secondaries in the game on Friday. So if you want to see that, please hit the big red button down below and you'll subscribe to my channel and you'll see my videos the moment they come out. Anywho, this has been Sven. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.